You have to understand that your self-love is key. And by self-love, I mean doing what you need to do to heal and free yourself. So if you activate your self-love, that's going to help you serve other people well. These two things have to go hand in hand. Love yourself so that you can serve others well.
From PBS NewsHour's Student Reporting Labs
and WETA,
this is On Our Minds
with Bree
and James,
a podcast made by teens for teens.
Because everyone deserves a place to feel heard.
Hey James.
What's up, Bree? How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, senioritis is definitely kicking in, so I don't know, I'm feeling like I need a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. I remember when I was like a junior year student in high school, I always, looked at the senior year students and thought that senioritis was most definitely like a myth, something that could not possibly happen to me. But yeah, you're right. It's definitely kicking my butt. But I think today's episode will actually inspire you. Recently, students from Austin, Texas attended South by Southwest EDU and interviewed Diego Perez, better known as Yung Pueblo. He's a #1 New York Times bestselling writer who's widely known on Instagram.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely heard the name before. Like I was scrolling through my Explore page and I definitely read one of his poems.
I looked through his Instagram and read some of the poems that he's produced, and I totally fell in love with them. Can I actually read you one of his poems?
Of course, I'd love to hear it. Take it away.
In a time when people devalue kindness, let your heart remain wide open. Keep giving your gentleness to the world. Act with kindness without worrying about what you'll get in return. Even if people forget what you did for them, the universe won't.
Wow, that's super powerful.
Let's get into the conversation. Here's student reporter Chloe Lewcock speaking with Yung Pueblo.
How have you learned how to characterize your feelings and emotions into your poetry?
What I try to do is to write about what I have experienced. There's something about being able to process your emotions through writing that is it's very private, almost intimate, because it's just between you and yourself, and you're communicating with yourself with this radical honesty where you want your genuine truth to come forward. So I think in tough times, especially in times of loss, when a family member passes away or something difficult happens, being able to bring beauty to that difficulty is actually quite healing.
Where were you when you started your mental health and mindfulness journey, and how have you grown to where you've gotten to today?
It really started in this rock bottom moment where I was spending a lot of time running away from my emotions. There was a lot of sort of sadness and anxiety that built up as I was growing up, because we grew up as pretty poor immigrants in Boston. And it was quite a difficult struggle with my mom. She was cleaning houses. My dad worked at a grocery store. So it was a stressful period because we would struggle, they struggled to pay rent. They struggled to put food in the fridge. It just embedded a lot of sadness and anxiety inside of me. But when it was 2011, about a year after I graduated from college, I had this rock bottom moment where I had been using so much drugs and alcohol to try to run away from my emotions and quiet those emotions. And I actually almost ended up losing my life. I knew that the problem was that I was running away from my emotions. So to get better, I had to be with them. I had to have the courage to actually feel my emotions. So what I did was I challenged myself that whenever sadness or anxiety would arise, instead of rolling up another joint, I would sit on my bed and just feel the emotion. And at first it was really scary and hard, but then I realized that I had made that fear much bigger than it really needs to be, because once I faced the emotion, it actually wasn't that bad. And that's something that's simple that anybody can do without any type of technique.
So in your day-to-day life, how do you maintain a mental health conscious lifestyle, and how do you incorporate that into your writing?
I have these two pillars that I work within every day. This morning when I woke up, the first thing I did was I meditated for an hour. That's the way I primarily take care of myself. I make sure that my mind feels good, feels sound, that my mind is balanced, that I've developed equanimity. Equanimity is balance of mind. And the other aspect of it was is making sure that I'm eating nutritious food that fits my body well, and running. So I try to be really mindful of that. And the other thing is just not spending too much time on my phone, because the phone is like, in one way it's beautiful that this technology even exists, but in another way, like, it can really just be damaging.
How did you come into like this place of mindfulness and meditating daily? Like, where did that all start?
Well, it was a long journey, because I'd started with my one of my best friends, Sam. He was the one who meditated first in this, did this silent 10-day course. And then when he wrote me an email, and if he wrote it to me and to a few other friends, the email was all about love, compassion, and goodwill. And I was surprised, like, I've never heard of him talk about love, about compassion, or about goodwill. So I knew that I needed that. I knew that whatever he got, I needed some of that too. So when I went and started meditating, I found that it was just deeply, deeply helpful, and it has profoundly changed my life.
What do you hope that your poetry gives to people?
I hope it helps people understand that they can heal themselves. I think that's one thing. As I was growing up, there was no mental health movement. There was no wellness movement. This is all quite new. So when I started writing, the point of it is to help people, hopefully inspire people to also get in their own journey and work on healing themselves.
How did you learn how to become such a prevalent writer? Like, I feel like writing about your feelings is such a vulnerable thing, and finding the confidence to share that with people, like such a large number of people especially, it takes a lot of confidence. How did you learn that?
It was hard. It was hard in the beginning, but I had to understand that I can't control the way people perceive what I write. So I can do my best to be as clear as possible, but even then, some people may misunderstand what you're writing. You have to be okay with that. And the other aspect of that is that you have to understand that success is a product of consistency. In no matter whether it's your mental health, whether it's work, whether it's school, in any facet, if you're consistent, like, you don't have to be that creative, you don't have to be that intelligent, it's not necessarily about talent, but it's about consistency. It's hard to keep it going, to keep that consistency going, but I keep going because, like, the mission's not complete yet, right? We still have this huge mental health epidemic, and I can't fix it alone. I'm one of the very, very many people, like, you're all helping, like, you're all doing your part to also try to decrease this devastation of mental health that's happening in the United States and around the world. So I feel like collectively, we all have to do our best to help our minds.
Wow, I really love that conversation. So now I'm curious, James, have you ever meditated or journaled or anything of that sort?
Yeah, no, I definitely did try meditation for a while. I actually have this like yoga mat sitting in my closet right now where I would like sprawl out in my bedroom and like just try meditating, whether it was like kind of spiritual or just emotional. I think it really like decompressed a lot of stress for me, and it was something good for me to, start my mornings with. In terms of like writing or journaling, I'm not a big writer actually, so I haven't actually tried that, but I have friends who journal a lot, and they tell me like whenever they journal about me the night of. And I think that it's just such a cool way to like let out those kind of emotions. And I think it's always such a good feeling knowing that like people are like journaling about you. So sharing that with others, I think that's really nice too. But now I'm curious about you, Bree. Have you ever tried like meditation or writing or journaling by any chance?
Oh my god. Okay. First of all, I find that so nice that people journal about you. No one I know journals about me or journals in general, so I'm kind of jealous, but whatever.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
You know what? Yeah, someone might just not be telling me, but moving on. I had a huge meditation phase in 2020. I would do it like every single night.
What?
I would just put like my AirPods in and I'd be in my whole different world. But the thing is, I would always listen to guided meditations because somehow I just can't do it by myself and I need someone to help me. So even now, I still listen to guided meditations here and there to help me like just feel less stressed or various things of the sort. And when it comes to journaling and writing, I feel like I have like a lot of books that help me like have prompts, because just like guided meditations, I need like some sort of like help to kind of get all those thoughts and processes out of me. So it's really great to hear someone like Yung Pueblo also utilize the same methods as me.
On Our Minds Season 4 is produced by Student Reporting Labs in collaboration with KUOW's Radioactive Youth Media.
The conversation with Diego Perez, aka Yung Pueblo, was produced by Amelie Perez, Chloe Lewcock, Pierce Martin, and Autumn Rodgers,
with support from David Winter at McCallum High School and Trina Moore at Rouse High School.
Special thanks to all of the student journalists who reported at South by Southwest EDU and our local partners at Austin ISD and Austin PBS.
This episode was produced, edited, and mixed by lead producer.
Sorry. You're doing great.
Thank you. Okay. This episode was produced, edited, and mixed by lead podcast producer Briget Ganske.
Approval and oversight by editorial director Marie Kusick and executive producer Leah Clapman.
Theme music by Joseph Broad. Additional music from Blue Dot Sessions.
If you or someone you know needs help, we have a list of resources at studentreportinglabs.org/mental health resources.